Hello everybody, I am Simming in Oz, and this is creating Tom Riddle and Voldemort for my Harry Potter save. Oh, I've been looking forward to this one for so long because I knew I had a special idea in mind for how I wanted Tom Riddle to actually come about. As you can tell from this video, I have created two versions of Tom Riddle and Voldemort, one being Tom Riddle when he was a bit more handsome and human and a bit more deceptive and charming, and then we just go straight full dark and go completely Voldemort in the other section. I went back and forth on how I was actually going to achieve this with the spellcasters because I wanted both versions of Tom Riddle in my Harry Potter save, and I wasn't sure how I was going to have both. It just didn't sit right with me to create both separately and have them both exist in the same world. I couldn't do it. So what I did was I actually bent the rules a lot in that I made Tom Riddle as a human, and then I actually turned him into a vampire and made his dark form the Voldemort form. Now, I have some justification for this, in that, yes, he was originally a spellcaster. I'm thinking he started out that way, and then as our poor little lost boy just fell deeper and deeper into the dark arts, he sort of stumbled upon the way to live forever, and as in The Sims, that is very obviously the vampire lifestyle. So I don't think it's too much of a jump to believe that he cast away what made him so amazing, which is his spellcaster abilities, and actually became a vampire. Albeit, he will be like the most powerful vampire ever, but I think it lends itself to the fact that he can go back and forth between human Tom Riddle, which is the face he gives to the world, and that, he's charming and he gets people on his side and to his cause. He'll obviously have the Death Eaters, and they'll have their own club of, the knights and everything, and within The Sims, and it'll be really fun. I'm hoping Life and Death gives us some interesting dynamics for that. However, he'll be Tom Riddle during the day, and then when he does evil, nefarious things, he can swap over to his dark form and be Voldemort. So I think that's really the best compromise I could possibly think up for this. I don't mind that spellcasters kind of are averse to vampires, or at least I assume. I know that there's some animosity between definitely werewolves and vampires, but I haven't actually gone back and ever played a spellcaster vampire relationship or any kind of dynamic before. But even if there is some negative feeling towards them, people don't actually like Voldemort that much anyway. Yes, he's powerful, they fear him, they think he's going to change the magical world, but as for liking him on a personal level, I think it's just more fear, and this is especially true for his Death Eaters even. He rules by fear and power. It's not about getting them to like him, it's about getting them to follow him. So even if he is a vampire, I still think he fits very nicely into this world. Now, as you can see here, I'm going through and I'm building our Tom Riddle. I curated his wardrobe very specifically in that a lot of his outfits repeat because obviously he doesn't have a lot of money in reality as Tom Riddle, and that I wanted that to show through. So he's got a lot of repeating garments that go through, especially his shoes. I had to have a little laugh. I can just imagine Tom Riddle, he has one pair of really good shoes and that's it. So he wears those pairs of shoes with most of his outfits. He has a lovely pair of emerald green slippers that he wears with his nighttime wear, and I can just imagine maybe like Abraxas Malfoy just gifted him these emerald green sleeping slippers. And of course, maybe his formal wear as well, because his formal wear is actually quite nice. But otherwise, the rest of his wear is just very black and white, but natural fibers, not expensive, not too layered, just something he would have to actually pick up in like Muggle Britain that he thought would, sort of help him blend a little bit into the wizarding world. And I wanted him to have not all dark colours because as Tom Riddle, he's meant to be quite charming and gregarious, so he does have some lighter tones in his everyday wear. And I did go ahead and I gave him dark brown hair instead of the black hair. I just felt he had such more presence with the dark brown hair, and I obviously went through and fiddled with his face quite a lot, just because I struggle with perfect Sims. I'm so much better with flawed Sims. So I was going through, I'm like, no, I can't give him scars, can't give him wrinkles, can't give him freckles, can't give him tattoos. What can I give this guy? Very little, as it turns out. Here I am. He turned out amazing and I love him. He does have some contouring going on. I didn't give him too much makeup, even though I wanted him to look quite tired. But yes, he does have some light contouring. And here we are. We're coming to it, and already I'm loving the dark effect of being a vampire on him, even though he hisses every now and then. I feel like it's not too out of character for the Voldemort we know from the movies. Like, that guy was wild. But here I am creating Voldemort. Now, Voldemort had to be so different from Tom Riddle, but I still wanted there to be a general through line between them. Still same features, less skinny, more skeletal, and just, obviously the red eyes. I do actually go back and I change the red eyes because those are book canon accurate, but I'm afraid these red eyes just were leaning a bit too orange for me, so I do go back and I give him the really red eyes, but with the black bits surrounding it. Obviously, he looks angry all the time, and I just was able to take this opportunity to give him the very sharp teeth. Obviously, the no hair. I went back and forth if I wanted him to have pointy ears or not. In terms of Tom Riddle's personality as a whole, I actually might go back and make him gregarious as his main trait for his aspiration, but otherwise I made him a genius, an overachiever, and evil. This is one of the few characters in my Harry Potter save where I will go, yes, you are evil. There is no two ways about it. You are evil. There were so many traits though that actually just applied to him, like the self-centered trait, the paranoid trait, the neat trait. So he's so multifaceted, but I think I did try and narrow it down a lot. As you can see here, I am doing the nose. I struggled. I was so struggling with this nose because I'm like, it's not meant to be a nose, but what do I do? So eventually I just pushed and pulled. I tried every nose under the sun, and I just pushed and pulled that thing in fine detail mode until I was happy with it, until it was as flat as possible. I tried to make it look like the front of the nose were like just slits. And then I just adjusted the face to come forward. The bridge of the nose, the mouth, and the chin goes back. And then it all sort of blends into each other if you're on a side view. Obviously from the front it still looks like he has a obvious nose, but it's less nosy than you would a typical sim. And there I am with the dark eyes. I did go back and I gave him some more contouring. I gave him, I believe, some redness around his eyes and some contouring to make his face just a bit more shadowy. I do go through and I make him quite skinny compared to Tom Riddle himself, just because he's otherworldly. Like, this guy does not take care of himself in reality. I don't imagine he sits down to a healthy breakfast every morning. He's not working out. He's down in a dungeon doing his research or torturing muggles. So this guy is not doing well. And we all knew his life choices weren't, stellar anyway. I had to give him the nails because, God, his toenails and his nails in the movies were just iconic. So yes, I do give him some nails. And then this is me giving him the highlighting from his nose. I do give him the slightest bit of lipstick on his lips, just to make his lips stand out very much little, but it's very all natural. Thankfully, his everyday wear came together quite quickly. I wasn't sure what I was going to do in that, and I found this lovely black layered effect that I think you get from the Snowy pack in Japan. So that worked out quite nicely. Obviously, he doesn't have shoes, and I had to think back and I went, oh my God, Tom Riddle only has one pair of boots, and obviously he's not going to wear those ratty brown boots with his Voldemort thing, so no, it's barefoot. But that's essentially it for my Voldemort. I love him. I'm thinking I actually want to go in and play with him for a little bit and just get his vampire skills up, get the club going for the Knights and the Death Eaters and see what comes of it. But I think I knocked it out of the park. This is exactly what I imagine Tom Riddle looks like in my head. And this is just me going through and giving him an absolutely dumpster fire personality. But yes, I love them both. I'm happy with how they turned out. And I'm really excited to see them interact with my world. But that's it. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.